It's a very big moment in the course of Nintendo Switch history, because for the last few years, this has been the baby of the family. I've been putting so many hours and so many games into this system. And now tonight is the night that the Switch Lite is birthed and born. We're ready to evolve into a new iteration of Nintendo Switch. It's portable only, it is turquoise blue, it comes with a D-pad, and it's pretty freaking great. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. I've been waiting ever since I flew out from New York City to play more of this. You probably saw my hands-on review last month. I loved it. Now we'll have to wait and see how it really factors in after a couple days, weeks, months of play, but we have one here. Big thanks to Walmart for coming through in the clutch, because no GameStop and no Best Buy in the area. We're doing a midnight launch, which I thought was crazy. Crazy. This is a big moment. Link's Awakening comes out, the freaking Switch Lite comes out, and I love how light the box is. It is light in weight, it is small, it's so compact. The Switch box feels like a console box, and obviously they made every effort to make sure the Switch Lite box feels like a portable box. Make sure to let me know in the comments down below what you think of the Switch Lite, if you're gonna pick one up, what color. Hit that like button. If you enjoyed the video, it does help us out a lot. Let's get into this unboxing. Now, I think that this is going to be one of the easiest unboxings I've ever done, because as far as I'm aware, there aren't very many pieces in the Switch Lite box. Like, I think there's only 2, because remember, this thing comes with no Joy-Con, comes with no dock, comes with no HDMI because it doesn't have video out. It comes with, right off the bat, the Switch Lite, and then a charging cord, and I think that's going to be about it. I've also brought a bunch of other systems for comparison, like a bunch of Nintendo handhelds, obviously, including the Switch, but we'll get to that once we get this guy out. There it is, the Switch Lite. It's ready for action. Dump the flap and away you go. A whole new world, well, kind of the same world, just a different planet in the same galaxy, because it's playing the same games, basically the same library, except for Mario Party, 1-2 Switch, Ring Fit Adventure, although you can make it work. Goodness gracious, I already forgot how vibrant and beautiful these guys are. Look at that thing. It is so freaking nice. It's got a totally different feel than the Switch. It's much more matte based. It actually feels a little dusty and dirty out of the box, to be honest. I'm gonna have to give it a few good genie lamp rubs to get the magic raring for action. But in comparison to the Switch, which is very, I mean, it fingerprints up a lot, and it's got much more of a, not shiny, but it's got much more of a glossy type feel. This is all matte, all the time, all around. You can see the turquoise encompasses the system all around, save for the buttons and the triggers, which are white, and the logo on the back, which is white. This guy is so sweet. It fits my hands perfectly. I think this is one of the most ergonomic, awesome feeling systems ever made, and I don't say that lightly. I got to play it for a couple hours in New York. I'm obviously going to put a ton of time into it now. It obviously comes in turquoise, yellow, and gray. I'm a big fan of the yellow. Turquoise won out for me, but I think the yellow looks fantastic. The gray is okay. It's a little bit of an off gray. It's not the same gray as the Joy-Con from the original Switch. It's a little lighter, so it does pop a little better, and if you choose gray, I can't blame it. It's still a cool looking color, and the gray does look really good with those white buttons. I like that a lot. The D-pad feels nice. The buttons, I will have you know, the buttons on the original Switch on the Joy-Con, on any Joy-Con, are clicky buttons. You can probably hear them, right? You can hear that click. The Switch Lite buttons are much more akin to the Pro Controller buttons, where they're a little squishier, and that will take a little time to get used to. You'll kind of probably be like, oh, this doesn't feel the same. What's weird? And what's weird is that the Joy-Con buttons are clicky, and the Switch Lite face buttons are squishy. Another interesting note that I think is fun to point out is the bezel is colored. There's obviously a very tiny black square around the screen, but the bezel itself matches the color of the system. Now, some people have said they find that distracting, and that's one of their reasons for going gray. I actually find it better. It helps blend, I think, the controls in with the screen, and to me, I like the fact that it moves the turquoise all the way up to the edges of the screen. Whereas here we've got this giant black bezel that, for me personally, in my eyeballs, I find more distracting. It's more noticeable that there's this humongous ring around the screen versus the color just creeping right up to the edges. I like that a lot. I think it makes the games pop and stand out more against the color and against the bezel. But some people do like the way that the games pop against the black bezel. I just don't like the thickness and the separation that you feel from the controllers, but alas, it is a bigger form factor, so it kind of makes sense. It's going to be a bit of a struggle to know which games I should put where, because Nintendo still hasn't made the transfer process or the dual console process all that great. We'll probably touch on that in the future video. But for now, it's all about the glory that is this system. What do you guys think of it? In person, raring to go, beautiful. I think it's lovely. It was a tough call for me to go turquoise or yellow. The yellow is really majestic, but I'm a blue guy all around. You can see I'm matching with the sleeves, so we had to get it. What else is in this box? Well, it's a very tiny box. It feels like you're buying a portable console. Remember, this thing is $200, so you're saving $100, and you're also losing the ability to play on the TV for it to be a home console. Nintendo Switch manual, and then literally the only other thing in the box is the charging cord, the AC adapter. That's all we get. That's all you get. You get the same AC adapter that comes with the Switch, except this time it's not connecting to a dock, it's connecting to the system itself directly, which it can do obviously with the regular Switch, but here we go. It's just right in the bottom again. And ta-da, these are your new best friends. The charging cable and the Switch Lite itself, ready for all the gaming goodness. We can pour Link's Awakening, Luigi's Mansion 3, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Hollow Knight Silksong, Untitled Goose Game, and all of our old favorites onto this bad boy and bring it with us anywhere. Now, we could obviously bring the other Switch with us anywhere, but this one just, I don't know, the small size differential, it does kind of mean a lot because you don't lose much on the screen at all. I love the smaller bezel. I love the colors. I love the D-pad, and I love how it fits and feels in my hands. It's ideal to me. Because you're not losing much of the screen real estate, but you are gaining what I feel is a better ergonomic form factor. I liked playing this in handheld more than I liked playing this guy in handheld. Now, I'm not saying that this is a better system because obviously it's missing features, but it loses some of the flimsiness of the Switch because remember with the Switch, you've got a little bend. It's not a lot, but a little bend because the Joy-Con can come on and off. Now, the Joy-Con coming on and off is a positive and a negative. It's a negative for sort of the premiumness of the build quality, I guess, but it's a positive for multiplayer. It's a positive for docking. Here, nothing is removed. These Joy-Con do not come off, but that creates maybe the best form factor feeling handheld Nintendo has made, question mark? We'll have to wait and see. They have some really great feeling systems that got thousands of hours of play and sold bajillions of units, so we won't make a verdict this early, but let's compare it a little bit to some of the other sizes. So obviously the first one is the regular Switch to the Switch Lite, and I've heard it described accurately that the Switch Lite is like the Switch if it loses a Joy-Con. Oh no, it fell off, it lost a Joy-Con, and now they're basically the same size. I'll put them right together here for you so you can see basically the same. The Switch is still a bit bigger, but it's roughly, that's roughly how I describe the length, if you want. It's still a bit taller. You can see along the back side here that it's still got the height advantage there, dwarfing its little brother. But lengthwise, that's kind of where it's at. Now, let's make another interesting comparison. Let's take, how about we take the 2DS XL, which is the most recently released of Nintendo's handhelds. Here we have this guy. It fits basically onto the screen of the Switch Lite. Now, the screen of the 2DS XL, it's a pretty nice screen. It's surprising to open it and see how substantial that screen looks nowadays. Got that flimsy little top there, the little, kind of reminds me of an iPhone up there, an older iPhone with the big bezel. Anyhow, screen comparison, as you can see. You saw the screen comparison of the regular Switch. Outside of the bezel, it's basically the same size screen. So you're getting roughly the exact same experience. And it's from what I've played, it's not noticeable that the Switch Lite screen is like much smaller. Let's compare it to a Vita. This is kind of an interesting one. The Vita, again, it's a little bit bigger than that 2DS XL, so it fits on the screen and the sticks, but we've come a pretty good way since the Vita. There's the screen improvement. Still like kind of a similar form factor, except much more squared off than rounded, which is interesting. All right, let's take something a little bit older. How about the Game Boy Advance? You want to see what the Game Boy Advance looks like compared to this? Boom, there we go. Big strides have been made. The screen is so small, and then it got a whole lot bigger, brighter, and better. 2 buttons, obviously, it's a little interesting. Let's take an original 3DS XL. Got that Pikachu edition. This is a beefy system, and honestly, it's one fake Joy-Con that can't come off short of being a Switch Lite. It's got the big screen there, not big enough in comparison. Interesting. We also have the brick. The regular 2DS, that's what those guys look like. New 3DS, okay. Open that screen up, there we go. Comparison there. And I've got actually 2 more for you. We've got a DSi. Thought this system was really nice, and it's also blue. But the turquoise has changed. We're going a lot more a lot more greeny, honestly, here. A lot more sea aqua. This one was much more true sky blue. Probably not even turquoise at this point. It's just straight blue. But I do love the form factor and the matte finish of that system. It's honestly comparable. The matte finish is comparable to DSi. That's probably the best, closest comparison in terms of the finish and the feel. And we got a little Game Boy SP right here that I had done up. It's a little Zelda one, and it's very small in comparison. But that's all we got in the box. It's the charging cord and the Switch Lite. This is a low-profile system. You don't have much going on. We'll turn it on. Nintendo boots up, and away we go. I'm going to be playing a lot of games on this, giving you guys a lot of good feedback. We probably should play Mario Party just to make it happen, even though it's not supposed to happen. We can make it happen, and you're ready to go. Loading in. Here we go. Check this out. The Switch is ready for action. A brand new day for a brand new Switch. Set all the languages up. I'm going to have to figure out if I want this to be my primary, if I want this to be my secondary, because the way it's working out right now is if you keep your, if you're transferring over from another Switch, if you keep your OG Switch as the primary, then your Switch Lite is going to need to be connected to the internet if it wants to play. Or you could make your Switch Lite the primary, in which case the regular Switch would have to be connected to the internet, which might be the smarter move because this probably is sitting at home and the Switch Lite is probably going out with you. There's not really a great way to carry your games over to both systems. You can use cloud save data, but it's not as it's just not as congruent of a process I would like for you to be able to have the same profile on two systems. It doesn't work that well. Cartridges probably make things a bit easier, but then you're still dealing with the save data issue. And I'd honestly want to like play my games at home on the TV and then transfer them to Switch Lite to go. You can move save data over, but that feels really cumbersome and annoying to do every time you want to play or switch it up. So I'm gonna have to spend some time kind of figuring out where I want to go and how I want to get these set up. And once I figure that out, I'll bring you guys all the details, because maybe I'll find out a way that works for me that can help you out if you are trying to make the conversion or balance the dual Switch life. Now, if you're not sure or not aware, you can connect controllers to the Switch Lite. You can connect Joy-Con, you can connect Pro controllers, there's even a way to connect wired stuff. If you have a USB dongle that goes USB-C to USB-A, I believe, then you can connect your wired controllers. If you have like a Hori Pad or a PowerA alternative, you can connect those in. But you can wirelessly connect any of the default Nintendo controllers to this system to make it multiplayer. Now, there's no way to go to the TV. There's no kickstand, so you're going to have to just kind of prop it up if you want people to play, or hold it and try to show them what's up until they catch up in Mario Kart, and then you turn it away. But it's totally possible. I got to play it that way at the event, connected Joy-Con. We'll probably mess around with the different configurations and show you what I like best. It's not terrible propped up. You know, I've really kind of fallen in love with what I call tabletop pro mode, which is where I pop the kickstand, I set up my Switch, and then I play with a Pro controller. I like that a lot. The screen's good enough to make that work, especially for one-player games and single-player action. The screen isn't that much smaller here, so it's totally possible. There's no kickstand. I'm probably going to be checking out a bunch of accessories like the charging stands and stands just to hold it up, because then maybe it works as well. Maybe I can go Tabletop Pro with the Switch Lite. I'm just not going to have the kickstand to make it easy, but it's a flimsy kickstand anyway. Maybe getting a proper stand is a better move altogether. But other than that, it is virtually the same. We've got the game card slot up top. We've got the headphone jack up top. We've got volume control, power control. You've got your micro SD card on the bottom. This does not come with any, so you'll probably want to buy one. There's some really good deals right now that we touched on earlier in the week. $20 for a 128 gig card at Amazon. That's probably your best bet right now, and that's going to get you a lot of mileage for the coming games, or if you're transferring games over. As I mentioned, the D-pad is a big difference that I think a lot of people forget about. It's not just smaller. It's not just a cool color. It does have a true D-pad, so if you are mostly playing single player, if you are more into like eShop experiences and things of that nature, it's a really good fit. Now, at the end of the day, which system is right for you? Is the Switch Lite worth it? It so depends on who you are, how you play, and what games are your favorite. We posted a video earlier in the week kind of giving you a quiz to take to determine if the Switch Lite is right for you. And if you're on the fence or unsure, I really recommend checking that out. It's kind of a fun way to figure out if you should plop the $200 down. I know that I am in love with it right now. It feels fantastic, just like I remembered. It's such a cool looking system. It's a beautiful size, but will it modify and mess with my Switch life as much as I think? Especially given how Nintendo doesn't really encourage you to have the same profile across two systems. They make it a little bit difficult, or actually pretty difficult. I don't know. Only time will tell. But right now, I love the way this thing looks. I love the way this thing feels. It is a premium product at a cheaper price. I think Nintendo hit a home run here. Can't dock it. That sucks. Can't switch it. That's kind of silly. But if you are a DS, 3DS gamer that's looking for your next portable, if you don't really plan to play on the TV, you just want all Nintendo's goodness in the palm of your hand with the cool colors and really nice form factor and that matte finish and great ergonomics, then the Switch Lite is a pretty sweet system. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below. Hit that like button if you had fun and are pumped that the iteration has arrived. Remember all those days, weeks, months of rumors like Switch Mini, it's coming, it's coming. No, it's not. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Okay, finally, we're putting it to bed. Here it is. It's woken up. It's arrived. It's been born. And now we have it for good until the Switch Pro arrives. Maybe next year, maybe 2021. I'm sure we'll do another unboxing then. In the meantime, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. SwitchForce out.